It's mind blowing Monday, 1, 2, 3. It's not really Monday. But I was like, should I still do it? Should I do it? I should do it. Should I still do it? Anyway, so I decided to still do it. So this week I'm talking about highs, storms, and bot attacks. And I was going through some things and I'm a little behind schedule. But anyway, so being in Ghana last month was such a high. I remember when visiting Africa was only a dream. And now I've been there twice. I've even led a retreat there, and I have family and friends there. So it all feels so empowering. When I came back, I wrote my newsletter, which was People Pleasing Retreats Expansion. I always give you three. Immediately after I did the newsletter, I started getting subscriptions like through the roof. I was so excited. It seemed like people pleasing was a topic that was really striking a chord with folks. So I was on this high. But when I sat down to look at my new subscribers, I noticed there was something weird. First of all, more than 50% of the new subscribers were men, and I do love men, but they make up less than 5% of my clients. Then I noticed something even stranger. The names and the email addresses were often mismatched or duplicates. Then I realized I was a victim of a bot attack. Who knew? After spending about 3 days thinking that my messaging had finally broken through to my audience in a significant way, the wind was literally knocked out of my sails. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're super excited about something and then you realize that it was like somebody was playing with your feelings? Anyway, I was back at square one. But now, with the added work of understanding why somebody would want to damage my email list, which I have learned in this past week that people will do that to like scrape data from your account. So I'm like, okay. Um, so I did figure that out since since Monday, but I still have to do the work to clean up the mess. So while Botgate was going on, I also had people pulling out of my Costa Rica retreat or the retreat that I was co-hosting with Costa Rica. And didn't have anything to do with me, but it also put me in a position where I had to reconsider if I was going to participate in the retreat. So then I went from this amazing high to like this really funky low. Then with all of that, there was of course, the devastating Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, and I'm half Jamaican, so I had to, reach out to family and make sure people are okay. So while my personal, upheaval, being in my feelings, does not compare to the devastation of a Cat 5 hurricane by any means at all, the reality is we all have storms in our lives. They might be like one big blow, like failing a class or losing a job or battling an illness, getting sued, losing a loved one, going through divorce. And Lord knows, sometimes the big ones can happen all at once. I have been in one of those big bumpy seasons. They are not fun. I hope you guys aren't experiencing that stuff now. Um, but with people losing benefits, there's just so many things going on. But anyway, there can also be the subtle ones like the miscommunication or discouragement or feelings of a lack of purpose, like that gentle, annoying nudge that makes you feel like something isn't right. So in Buddhism, there's this concept called equanimity, and that is the ability to stay balanced, grounded, and open hearted no matter what is happening, whether it's pleasure or pain, praise or blame, gain or loss. So it's not indifference, it's like a really deep inner stability. It's emotional regulation. And what it might look like is one, not reacting harshly to criticism or clinging to praise. So it takes you off the roller coaster of performing for other people's applause. Two, it can look like the ability to sit with difficult emotions without numbing or ignoring them. So for me, journaling is a huge help when I need to process complex or painful emotions. And number three, it can show up as loving people without trying to control them. So this could apply to your partner, your parents, and a big, big one is your kids. So just as people throw, clean or dirty things on the ground and the earth just remains unmoved, we can also learn to keep our minds steady and grounded, appreciating all of life's experiences without losing our peace. So my quote for this week, it's from Maya Angelou. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. So Maya Angelou is a woman who endured both childhood sexual assault and prostitution. These words speak volumes on staying grounded through any storm. Her honesty and authenticity inspired me when I was just a preteen reading I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. If you have not read that book, I encourage you to read it. Changed my life. And I could never have imagined back then that decades later, this book that was a lifesaver to me is banned in many places. I don't think Maya Angelou could have imagined that either. But listen, she was older and wiser than me, so she maybe she could have. But whatever you are going through, I want you to know that you can come out on the other side better and stronger for it. So my two questions as you move through the remainder of this week. The first one, where am I losing my peace because I'm clinging to the highs or resisting the lows? So it can show up as over celebrating some sort of validation or over analyzing some sort of rejection. So both extremes will pull you off center. This idea of equanimity invites you to come back to steady ground. Sometimes in Buddhism, you'll hear that as the middle way. And the second one is, how can I anchor myself when storms hit? Like for me, when all this started happening this week, there were other things that were going on too that just all seemed to happen at the same time. For me, I needed quiet. I needed journaling. I need time for contemplation, for prayer. So it could be some of those things. It could be yoga or meditation or breath work, maybe a long walk or exercise, or even just, spending time with a friend. So how do you anchor yourself when storms hit? And if you have, your favorite five things that you do, is there another one that maybe you can add to your list of things that you do? So think of one grounding practice that helps you reconnect to your calm no matter what is swirling around you. And three ways to lead with joy. I know it's Friday, but guess what? I showed up. And you can access this anytime. So here are a few ways to practice equanimity this week or through this weekend, right? The first, and you've heard me say this so many times, pause before you react. Slow down. So when things go wrong, whether it's a tech issue, somebody makes a rude comment, maybe it's an unexpected expense that's outside of your budget, take a deep breath before responding. There's a lot of power in that pause. And many times we can find creative solutions if we slow down. Number two, ground yourself in gratitude. This is certainly the month for it. Even amid chaos, look for the good. Gratitude does not take away pain, but it gives you a steady place to land. I did not enjoy that bot attack this week, but I tell you, I learned something new that I did not know. And I have seen companies that have approached me offering like email lists that they scrape from the internet. And I never thought about how they are scraping them. Now, how are they getting people's emails addresses if they were not given to them? So I learned both sides of that equation. Um, and I'm glad I haven't ever purchased those lists. Okay, number three for your ways to lead with joy, embody authenticity. So when challenges tempt you to shrink, show up as your full self anyway. The storm may shake the branches, but your roots are strong. I can't tell you how many times I do this and I think, oh God, should I tell them? Should I really tell them what's going on? Or should I make up a story? And I'm like, you know what? I enjoy being a whole person. I know a lot of us don't feel like we can be our whole authentic selves, but I do try to model what that looks like with my little warts and weird things and all. So here I am. Life will always bring you highs and lows, and sometimes even bot attacks. When we cultivate equanimity, we learn to stay grounded in joy through it all. And the goal isn't to avoid the weather, it's to remember that we are the sky. We are the wide, calm, limitless, expansive, intelligent sky. If you made it this far, you're already done the work. You're part of the 1%. I'm proud of you. Keep going. I wish you freedom, alignment, and effortless abundance. Trish, and applications are open for the Ghana Soul Healing Retreat coming up November 2nd to the 10th, 2026. This retreat is a sacred journey of self love, ancestral connection, and expansion, an opportunity to release old patterns, reconnect with your roots, and return home to yourself. You can learn more at GhanaRetreat.com or on my website, TrishAjelRoberts.com. And I have also put together the details for a much, much smaller endeavor, which is our Dream, Create, Do 3-part digital vision boarding experience. This year, we're offering 2 bonus sessions. So there are 3 sessions included. The first one is November 20th. The second one is December 4th. And the last one is, that little space between Christmas and New Year's where you just have a little bit of time to yourself. It's December 30th. So I hope that you can join me. I will put all the links here so you can see them. And you guys go ahead and have a